Rustin's been running really strong this year. I don't know what he did to the car or the motor, but this year has been like a new season for him.
That's one of the very few Ford-powered modifieds that you'll see in this circuit. But Jim Rustin has stayed with Ford Motor Company all along. He's a Ford-powered car. Jim Rustin out in front off turn 2 down the back straightaway with Brian Stevens in the 444 running second. Pete Bicknell, car number 42, has moved up now in the back bumper of the 444. So Stevens has his hands full with Bicknell right there trying to get underneath as they come off the number 4 corner. Rustin in command. He's got quite a lead as he got that good jump on the start. But Brian Stevens, lap after lap, closing the gap just ever so much and trying to catch up and reel in our leader as we're at the halfway mark of this second modified qualifier. So it's Jim Rustin, the Ford, out in front, being chased by the 444 of Brian Stevens and the 42 of Pete Bicknell. Jim Bigelow, car number 16, now has pulled away from the rest of the pack, and he's right behind the 42 of Pete Bicknell. So Bigelow in the number 16 is pulled up on the back bumper of the Bicknell 42. Dave, one thing we might talk about is you look at the television screen and you see these cars set up coming through the turns. Boy, I'll tell you, I don't know. I think it'd be well worth it if every crew chief in the pit area had a screen to look at, or sit down on a Sunday evening or Wednesday evening and watch the rerun of this race. They'd know just exactly how their car is handling.
That's true, Gordy. Last night when I was at Ransomville, one of the drivers stopped me and indicated they really appreciated seeing the car on television. But after watching the show, he realized where he had the suspension wrong, went out to the garage and changed the bars around, and has come back here now and has run real strong tonight.
Well, Jim Rustin has his car set the way he wants it as he comes off turn number 4, headed down the front straightaway and takes the checkered flag and the win of our second modified qualifier. So Jim Rustin, the winner, following him across the line, the 444 of Brian Stevens, and in third place, Pete Bicknell, car number 42.
Well, Gord, I see the track's holding up exceptionally well. That fourth turn has stayed real smooth tonight, which gives you about 2 to 3 lanes of racing up there, which is what it really takes to make a great show.
The track is in excellent condition, and I'm sure it's going to stay that way throughout the night and into the features because, boy, I'll tell you, they've done a lot of work to keep the track in good shape, and it's holding up very well to this point. Cars getting lots of bite. As you could see them coming through the turns, you could see how the cars were working, and that's what we alluded to, is the way the cars are working. We see the Humberstone pace car out there right now, and Humberstone Speedway under new ownership for 1988. Ron DePlantis, a former driver, and he'll have the modifieds next week on Sunday night on hand for the first time. So we wish them all the best of luck over there at Humberstone Speedway in a new venture for Ron DePlantis as the new owner of the Speedway in Port Colborne, Ontario. Right now the car's on the track for our third modified heat. Jamie Turner in car number 11 out of Binbrook. From Ransomville, New York, the 38 of Roy Soucy. Rick Zabor in the number 17 from Niagara Falls out of Binbrook, to 39 of Don Turner. Ransomville, New York's Don McGinnis drives car number 20. Ray McIver in car number 68. The 88 of Denny Lindbergh. And Frank Plazik drives car number 4. Freddie Carlton out of St. Catharines in the number 96 car. So that's the field for this third modified qualifier. 10 laps coming up.
We sure have a good field of modifieds here tonight, Gordy. A good, solid house of modified cars made the show here tonight.
You're absolutely right, and there's more cars being built, and I'm sure in weeks to come we're going to see a few more. I know of a few over on the American side, and I know of a couple here in Canada. So on this side of the border. So there's probably 4 more for sure that are definite. They're just waiting for parts to complete their cars, but there's talk of 2 or 3 others. So we could look for the field we have tonight plus an additional 7 or 8 cars realistically.
Yeah, Merrittville consistently this year has been drawing some big fields of modifieds, and it looks for some great seasons.
Okay, the pace car off the track, ready to go. Field on their own as they come off the number 4 corner looking for the green flag. Green is out, and we're underway down the front straightaway. That's Roy Susie in the number 38 taking the lead. The 38 of Susie out in front. Jamie Turner, car number 11, goes to the inside in turn 2. These two cars side by side down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Susie on the outside. Turner down in low, coming off turn number 4. It's going to be a drag strip down the front straightaway. Now Don Turner, the veteran, comes up and gets right in the middle of it off the number 2 turn. And after all the cars come together up there in turn 2, it's Ray McIver, car number 68, who has the lead. Off turn number 4 down the front straightaway. McIver out in front with Roy Susie running second. Don Turner is third. Turner in the number 39, sitting there in third spot. Moving up quickly on the outside, the 20 of Don McGinnis. Don McGinnis now making the move off turn number 4. He's right behind Turner in that number 4 spot. Your leader still Ray McIver, car number 68, with Roy Susie running second. Don Turner is third, and in the inside in turn number 2, it's Don McGinnis. And McGinnis and Turner come together down the back straightaway. Ray McIver out in front. He's your leader, followed by the 38 of Roy Susie. Don Turner running third, car number 39, as we're fast approaching the halfway mark of this third qualifying heat. Ray McIver, car number 68, out in front as he goes through the number 1 corner. McIver has the rest of the field right behind him as they freight train down the back straightaway, single file, nose to tail. The 38 of Roy Susie running second. Turner is third. Don McGinnis running fourth. And in 5th place, it's Jamie Turner. So we have a father-son combination out there on the track right now. Don Turner in the 39, the veteran, running in the number 3 spot, and son Jamie in the 11 back there in 5th position.
We caught some smoke coming out of the back end of Ray McIver's 68 as he comes down the front chute here. And the pack is closing up behind him. He may have some bad engine trouble in that 68 modified.
I noticed that last trip around there was a considerable amount of smoke when he lets off going into the turn. It just bellows out from underneath the body panels of the 68. He slowed down considerably because the rest of the field is caught up to him. In fact, Susie trying to make a move now, and Turner going around the outside. Don Turner's going to try the outside route all the way around. Turn number 2, off the number 2 turn, headed down the back straight. It's Turner on the high side, down below the 68 of Ray McIver, and Turner's going to go into the lead. Don Turner, car number 39, your new leader. White flag is out, 1 more lap to go. No doubt, Ray McIver's running much slower than he was earlier in the race, as Don Turner, done it the hard way, went all the way around the outside into the lead. And Don Turner up in turn 3 and now into the number 4 turn. He'll come down looking for the checkered flag, and Don Turner gets the win. Ray McIver in the number 68 will hold on to second. And in third place, it'll be Roy Susie, car number 38. So that's the way they'll end up. Don Turner, the winner. Ray McIver in the number 68 holding on for second. And in third place, the 38 of Roy Susie.
I could see by watching Don and Jamie Turner out there for a while, although it's a father-son combination that may be together on Father's Day, they don't mind scrapping a little bit of iron out there when they're on a racetrack.
It means nothing on the racetrack, believe me when I tell you.
Yeah, they were hammering pretty good at one another there. Good, clean racing, but didn't mind using the Nerf bar for more than just painting it black. They definitely exchanged some iron out there, and Don McGinnis was in on a little bit with it, too.
Frank Plazek on the outside of him, the 57 of Lee Jerome. Row number 2 on the inside from Port Robinson, Mark Elsey. Outside of Elsey, out of Thorold, the 38W of Scott Wood. The 39 from Binbrook, Don Turner. Out of St. Catharines, the 37S of Harry Sittler. The 6R of Jim Ruston from Port Colborne, Jim Bigelow in the number 16 from Thorold. From Ransomville, New York, the 20 of Don McGinnis, the 2H of Harvey Hayner from St. Catharines. Another St. Kitts driver, the 42 of Pete Bicknell, a one-time feature winner here at Merrittville Opening
Club. So all you folks in Rochester.
88. Last week's modified feature winner here at the track, Brian Stevens in the 444. From Ransomville, New York, the 24J of Mike Jeffrey. The number 1, sponsored by Plazek Auto Recyclers and Doherty Enterprises in Akron, New York, Joe Plazek. The 11 of Jamie Turner from Caster Center. Fred Haig from Niagara Falls, New York in the 141. Bruce Parks in car number 82. The 13 of Chris Ricker out of Dunville. Denny Lindbergh in the L88 from Niagara Falls. The 96 of Fred Carlton. John Bannis in the number 45 car. And from Ransomville, New York, the 38 of Roy Susi. So there you have the lineup. 35 laps of racing coming up in our modified feature. A good turnout of cars, lots of power out there on the track. 454 cubic inch under the hood. 454 plus, because most of these engines are punched out a little bit. They're up around 467 cubic inches. 2,600 pounds the weight limit. Lots of power on this speedway, and they're ready to go racing. They're bunching up now, turn number 3. Side by side, bumper to bumper, nose to tail. They'll be picking up speed off the number 4 corner, looking for the green flag from our guest starter here tonight, Mel Swart. Here they come, down the number front straightaway. Green flag underway. Frank Plazik, that is, out in front. Frank Plazik in the number 4, takes the early lead. Off turn 2, headed down the back straightaway. Around the outside comes the 38 of Scott Wood. On the inside, the 76 of Mark Elsey. Elsey pulls up quickly to take over the number 2 spot. Frank Plazik, your leader, down the front chute. It's Scott Wood in the number 38, running second. Elsey back to third. Once again, down the back chute, the number 4, Frank Plazik, out in front. He's your leader. Scott Wood running second. Don Turner in the 39. Comes together with Mark Elsey up in turn number 4. That'll bring the caution out. They'll slow down, and we're going to do it all over again. Boy, I'll tell you, they got together up there in that number 4 corner. Cars slamming on their brakes to avoid the accident. And it looks like some of them will be able to pull away. I don't know, Dave, looked like a case to me. Mark Elsey went into the turn so hard up there. I don't know, his car never turned. He went right into the side of Don Turner. And, of course, both cars end up disabled right there in the number 4 corner.
Well, Mark Elsey, the number 76, is one of the only cars with an independent front suspension, which means each wheel works separate of the other one. And makes for a little different handling. I was kind of wondering how he would do as the track dries out a bit tonight.
Well, both cars that were involved up there running on their own, they'll get back into the rear of the field, and looks like they'll be able to continue. Frank Plazik out in front. He's your leader to 38 of Scott Wood running second. On the inside, once again, there's our only Ford-powered car, and I know all the race fans that root for Ford, they like to see Jim Rustin in that number 6 right up there by the front. He'll line up side by side with Don McGinnis in the number 20 car. That's your top 4 cars. Just 2 laps completed, scheduled for 35 in our modified feature. So no casualties. Looks like they'll all be able to continue on.
No, they all made it. Jimmy Beglos was involved in that. He stopped in right at the end for a visit and has to go tail on the field.
Looking for the green flag. Green is out. Here they come once again down the front straightaway with the number 4. Frank Plazik out in front. Frank Plazik leads the field down the back chute, followed by Scott Wood in the number 38. Jim Rustin, car number 6. Don McGinnis in the number 20. Moving around the outside. Off turn 4. Another lap completed. Down the front straightaway. Frank Plazik building up his lead. Through turns number 3 and 4, Harvey Hayner in the 2H now has moved up into second. Hayner with a good move down the back straightaway has pulled up into the number 2 spot. We're in lap number 4, and the number 4 of Frank Plazik is your leader out there on the speedway. Off turn 4, down the front chute. Frank Plazik, young driver out of Caister Center, looking for a big win here tonight as he leads the field down the back straightaway. Harvey Hayner running second in the 2H. We noticed that car in the qualifying heat. Harvey Hayner running very strong here tonight. And now in the number 2 spot, Jim Rustin is third, and we've got a car Up on turn number 4, that looks like Jim Bigelow, the 16 of Bigelow out of Thorold, sitting sideways, looking the wrong way back into the number 4 corner. Brings the caution out. They'll slow down and line up once again for the restart.
Jimmy Bigelow had to go scratch after that last restart, and he had made up a lot of ground going the outside lane. But it didn't pay off as he got caught in the traffic.
Field given the white flag. Next time around, we're going to go back racing. Six laps have been completed. Scheduled for 35. Frank Plazik has been leading since lap number 1.
And look who's sitting the outside. Harvey Hainer.
Harvey Hainer, as we talked about in the heat, running very, very strong, and he's now running second. Looking for the green this time through. Green flag. Here they come down the front straightaway once again. Frank Plazik on the inside, outside the number 2 of Harvey Hainer. And it'll be Hainer taking the lead. Harvey Hainer on the restart gets the lead off turn 2 down the back straightaway, so we've got a new leader. Harvey Hainer out in front, your leader. Boy, I tell you, cars really coming together up there in the number 4 corner. And that number 4 corner has played havoc on a lot of cars here tonight. That's the number 1 of Joe Plazik, along with the 96 of Fred Carlton. And it looks like Joe moving on his own as he goes down the front straight. And he'll head into the pit area, have the crew check the car over. Smart move to have him check it over, Dave, because of course he don't know how much damage he's picked up. He's going to have to start at the rear of the pack anyway, so.
Well, we've got a replay in this last accident involving Joe Plazik and Fred Carlton. Let's take a look here and see if we can find out what actually happened.
They're coming through turn number 4. There's our lead pack, and Plazik just looks like he just sort of looped it.
I see some debris on the track. I don't know whether something broke, but he did have some left side damage on that car as he went into the pit to have the crew check it over, which they're doing right now. And as you said, Gordy, that's a safe move. He's not going to really lose a place because these yellow laps don't count. And he'll just come back out and start tail, but he'll start in a car that he knows is okay to run in.
Well, he had the crew check it out. They apparently told him everything was all right. He's back on the track, ready to go racing. We're just waiting now to see whether Fred Carlton will be able to continue in the number 96. And I see Carlton is out of the car, walking towards the infield. So apparently, when the driver leaves the car, it's a safe bet to say the tow truck's going to take it back into pits. It's not going to get back there on its own, that's for sure.
No, they don't run too good without a driver.
No. Well, Fred Carlton heading back across the infield. The tow truck will hook up to the number 96 and take it back into the pit area. In the meantime, we're holding on lap number 7. As the cars circle around the speedway.
See Jimmy Rustin out there moving back and forth. They usually do that, weaving back and forth to keep their tires warm at racing temperature. So when the green drops, they have traction again. As these tires cool down, you lose a lot of adhesion from them.
And it looks like a lot of people are losing adhesion up there in turn number 4. I can't remember a night when so many cars just completely broke loose on the back end in the number 4 corner.
Boy, they definitely swap ends up there tonight.
I mean, I agree with you when you mentioned a little earlier, brought the attention the track is a little drier than it has been the first 2 weeks, but if it was that bad, I would think a lot more cars would be doing it, but it just seems to be a few cars, so it could be their setup just isn't conducive to track conditions, because we've had a number of cars break the back ends loose here in all divisions tonight.
Yeah, all divisions, and
Just about all the drivers have done it. It hasn't been a rookie or anything like that. It's been some of the veterans that have had a hard time in that fourth turn tonight. Even as we refer to the track as being drier tonight, it is still in excellent shape.
Oh, it sure is. You know, over the first 3 weeks, the biggest comments I've had is the width of this track. The drivers seem to really like the extra width that was put into the track this year.
Yeah, it's made for a lot better racing.
Well, looks like we're ready to go back racing now as the track has been cleared. Out in front, Harvey Hainer in the 2H. He's your leader after 7 laps. Frank Plazik running side by side with him. Pete Bicknell is third. Jim Rustin running fourth. Brian Stevens fifth. Here they come off turn number 4. Green flag, and we're underway once again down the front straightaway with the 2H of Harvey Hainer out in front. Hainer takes the lead off turn 2. Pete Bicknell makes a move to the inside, pulls up into second. Brian Stevens also floats it down through the inside and pulls into third. Here, top 3 cars off turn 4 once more. The 2H of Hainer, and there's the 42 of Bicknell, and also the 444 of Brian Stevens, as we've got 2 cars coming together in turn number 3. So 2 cars up there disabled in the number 3 corner, brings the yellow out once again. The 141 of Fred Haig out of Niagara Falls. And let's see, I believe that is
Mark Elsey.
Mark Elsey out of Port Robinson in the number 76 car. And the Haig machine backs up. We'll have to see whether he'll be able to continue. And also the 76 of Mark Elsey looks like he's moving on his own. Both cars still moving, so apparently not too much damage to either one.
It looked like Mark just lost the handle on it a little bit and slid down to the inside, and Freddie Haig got pinched between Mark and the rail.
Well, the cars will line up side by side for the restart. Merrittville pace car leads the field. 8 laps completed. Field on their own as they start picking up speed now in turn number 3. Harvey Hainer, your leader, he sets the pace coming off turn 4. Hainer in the 2H off the number 4 corner, down the front straightaway. Leads him down the front chute into turn number 1. We got 1 car on the outside, riding the ridge, as they say, and he's making up ground, the 20 of Don McGinnis. He's in the outside groove, everyone else running down in low. McGinnis in the number 20, Jim Rustin in the number 6, both on the outside groove, running around the outside of the track, as is the 16 of Jim Bigelow, and Bigelow is right up there now moving with the pack. So maybe the outside groove is getting a little quicker as we see 3 or 4 cars on the outside, and everyone running out there is making up ground. Back out in front, your leader, the 2H, Harvey Hainer, takes him down the back straightaway through turn number 3. Hainer out in front, followed by Pete Bicknell, car number 42. And Bicknell tries the inside route coming off that number 4 turn, closes the gap, but not quite enough to get out in front. Well, the caution out once again. Green flag, and we're underway once again down the front straightaway, the 2H. Harvey Hayner in the 2H. He's your leader. Pete Bicknell running in number 2 spot, but keep your eye on the 16 of Jim Bigelow. Bigelow rich riding around the outside, and he's trying to pull up and get in contention. The number 16 of Jim Bigelow is pulled to the outside of the track, trying to get better bite up there on the top. He's riding what we call the cushion. Here comes the 16 of Jim Bigelow off turn 4 down the front straightaway. It's still the 2H, Harvey Hayner, off turn 2 down the back straight. In command at this point. Behind him, Pete Bicknell in the number 42 and the 444 of Brian Stevens, third. And Bicknell now looks like he's past the 20 of Bigelow looks like he's past the 20 of Don McGinnis, so that'll put him up one more position in the 4th spot, and 5th belongs to the 20. Top 5 cars, it's Hayner out in front, and the yellow is out once again as Don Turner in the number 39 lost the handle up in turn number 1. Well, Dave, you can say the track is slick now. There's no doubt about it. The track is getting very, very hard. So they are having a little problem handling with these big tires out there on the track right now.
Well, we've had some good sunshine the past few days, which, although the weather's warmed up, it is tough on a dirt track surface. The surface dries out. We do have the buildup of rubber on it.
Well, looks like we got the track cleared off. We should be ready to go back racing here as soon as we get the cars lined up in the correct position. They got to be lined up in the position they were running when the yellow came out.
Wonder how many pair of sneakers Barry goes through in a year running down on a track like this.
Yeah, he sure wears them off in a hurry, doesn't he?
Keeps them nice and thin. Maybe you and I ought to go out there for a while.
There you go. Well, looks like we're ready to go back this time as we've got the cars lined. Well, I don't know. I'm looking over there now. I see cars in between. We got cars 3 abreast, and there's just no way we're going to get a start that way. Well, we're having a little problem getting these cars lined up in the position that they should be in. So Barry will take another trip down the tower, off the starter stand, out to the front straightaway, and try and get them lined up. It's Harvey Hayner out in front with Pete Bicknell running second. Brian Stevens is third. Don McGinnis running fourth. In 5th place, the 16 of Jim Bigelow. That's your top 5 cars.
Okay, we're going to have a break here, and we'll return to action in just a moment.
Serving your community. This is McLean Hunter Cable TV.
Harvey Hayner out in front. He's your leader. We're ready to go back racing now. Lap number 15, scheduled for 35. Picking up speed in turn number 4, looking for the green flag off turn 4. Green is out. Here they come. Pouring down the front straightaway into the number 1 corner. Harvey Hayner being pressured by the 42 of Pete Bicknell, the 444 of Brian Stevens, the 16 of Jim Bigelow, now running fourth. Bigelow likes the outside. He's going to get back out in the outside groove once again. And Mike Jeffrey into number 24 has pulled up now and running in that freight train that's set up on the inside. We're in lap number 16. It's still the 2H of Harvey Hayner out in front. He's in control. He's got the lead down the front straightaway. Harvey Hayner, 2H, sets it up in turn 4, grabs the bike coming off the number 4 corner, heads down in front of the grandstands, and the rest of the field all hugging that rail coming off the number 4 corner. They like the inside groove as they go around, track getting just a little on the slick side, but not so much that they haven't got some tremendous speed out there in these modifieds in this big 35 lap feature. Lap number 19, down the back straightaway. Harvey Hayner in the 2H. He's your leader, being followed closely by the number 42 of Pete Bicknell. Hayner throws the back end loose, grabs the bike, coming off turn 4, heads down the front chute into turn number 1. Lots of action back in the pack, as you can see. The cars whipping down this front chute. There's Hayner once again, setting it up once more. Another lap is history as he comes down the front straightaway. Right behind him on the back bumper, the 42 of Pete Bicknell. Our leader once again off turn 4 down in front of the grandstands. Lots of pressure by the 42 of Pete Bicknell running second. He'd like to take over the lead, but that's Hayner's, and he's had it since lap number 6. Out of St. Catharines, looking to pick up win number 1 for 1988, the 3rd week of racing here at Merrittville Speedway. Right behind him, Pete Bicknell, car number 42, the defending modified points champion here at the Speedway, and he won opening night, would like to win again tonight. We're in lap number 25, 10 more laps to go. The final 10 laps now in this modified feature. Hayner trying to hold off the 42 of Pete Bicknell, and he's got lots of pressure from the 42 going into turn number 3 and 4. A slower car, Denny Lindbergh, and they slide around him and continue on into the number 1 corner. So Harvey Hayner in that number 2H out in front, and you can see the interval between him and Pete Bicknell, car number 42. Bicknell closes it up a little bit coming off the number 4 turn, but there's quite a battle for the lead as we get into the last 10 laps of this race. Of Harvey Hayner. Hayner in command, has been leading since lap number 6. And we're in lap number 29 now. Next time around, there'll only be a handful of laps, 5 to go in this modified feature. And he'll try and hold off Pete Bicknell, the defending modified points champion here at the Speedway, and pick up his first win of 1988. 30 laps completed as we keep our eye on our leader, the 2H of Harvey Hayner, coming up on some slower traffic now. He'll have to weave his way through and hold that lead. Stays down in low around the retaining wall through turns number 1 and 2, not giving too much on the inside. Here comes Pete Bicknell. He wants the inside groove, and Hayner doesn't want to give it up. Harvey Hayner in the 2H doesn't want to give too much room underneath to Pete Bicknell. He slid a little wide coming off turn 4. It's Hayner out in front. What a battle for the lead as they go in turn number 2. The 42 of Pete Bicknell on the inside, and Bicknell takes the lead. Pete Bicknell has taken the lead from Harvey Hayner on lap 32. He got the inside groove coming off that number 2 turn. Jim Bigelow is really on the move now. The number 16 of Jim Bigelow. He wants to overtake everybody and get the lead. Jim Bigelow, keep your eye on him. He's riding the outside. 1 lap to go. The final trip around. There's your leader, the 42 of Pete Bicknell. Bicknell out in front, and it's the 16 of Jim Bigelow. Bigelow's going to take one last desperate chance on the high side, coming off turn number 4. The 16 of Jim Bigelow side by side with Pete Bicknell, and it'll be the number 42 getting the win. What a race. Boy, I'll tell you, close competition all throughout.
Well, Pete Bicknell really had to work overtime on that race to get the win. It's the second modified win of the year, taking the lead from Harvey Hayner on the 32nd lap. Only 3 laps from the end, he was able to get by Hayner after working on him throughout the race. Not only did he get by Hayner, but then he was able to hold off the late charging Jimmy Bigelow for the modified feature win. Well, that concludes our show tonight from the Merrittville Speedway. Just a quick recap. In the amateur, Dale Cooley continued his win streak with his 3rd straight amateur feature. Wayne Howard won in the Bomber Division. In the Sportsman, your victor for the 3rd time in a row was Terry St. Armand. Billy Willard was 2nd. Cliff Warner rounded out the top 3. The modified, of course, it was Peter Bicknell, as you see in the front straightaway, Jimmy Bigelow, and Harvey Hayner. And that concludes tonight's show from the Merrittville Speedway. And just a reminder that next weekend is a double-barrel action weekend here at the Merrittville Speedway with a regular show of a 4-score fan club appreciation night on Saturday, and then Monday the big Victoria Day 50-lap modified special. So again, we'd like to thank you to be at the races tonight, and make sure you make it out next week for races here at the Merrittville Speedway, the place to be on Saturday night.